My name is Kalen. I was 19 when it happened, still too young to understand that some places shouldn't be explored and some secrets should be left to rot in silence. It started simply. I had been seeing this girl, Eleonora, though her friends called her Nora. She was smart, sharp-tongued, with a crooked smile that made my heart skip. We had been together for a few months, and like any 19-year-old, I was intoxicated with the idea of taking the next step. Not just emotionally, but physically too. I wanted it to be special, memorable, not rushed in the backseat of a car or under flickering dorm lights. I told my best friend, Borislav, Borko for short. He was 2 years older, always brimming with cocky confidence. When I asked him for a quiet place where we wouldn't be disturbed, he gave me a lopsided grin. "There's a place," he said, lighting a cigarette, "just outside of Plovdiv, an old sanatorium turned hotel. Shut down in the 90s. Nobody goes there anymore. I've taken Mila there like 3 times. No one bothers you." At first, I thought he was joking. A hotel in the woods, abandoned. But curiosity pulled harder than caution. We took the bus from Plovdiv to a remote village called Sushitsa, then walked a good hour through the overgrown path that led into the rode-up mountains. The wind there is different, colder, though it was mid-April. Trees stood close together, their branches gnarled like the fingers of old women, whispering in the wind. When we saw the building, I felt something twist inside me. It was massive. 3 stories high, half its front collapsed, the windows dark and gaping like sockets in a skull. Rusted Cyrillic letters above the crumbling entrance read, Hotel Zdravets. Wild ivy coiled around the structure, dragging it back into the earth. The front lobby was surprisingly intact, though covered in moss and soot. The reception desk still had an open guest book, its pages glued together with damp and time. It smelled of mildew, old blood, and something sweet underneath, like flowers left too long in stagnant water. Borko moved ahead, casual, as though he'd walked these halls a dozen times. "Only use the ground floor," he said. "Come on, let's see the rest." I hesitated. The floorboards creaked under our feet, some parts splintered, others soft as sponge. He led the way up the main staircase, flashlight beam slicing through the shadows. We passed decaying rooms with rusted bed frames, shattered mirrors, a bathroom where the tiles were black with mold. A broken wheelchair lay in one corner of the corridor, facing the wall like it had been punished. Then we found the door. It was just there. At the end of a hallway that curved slightly, a room with no number, no label. The door was pristine, wooden, dark varnish, not touched by decay. There was no dust near the base, as if someone had cleaned it recently. "I've never seen this one," Borko said, frowning. I felt something then, like static on the skin, not fear exactly, more like being watched, not by eyes, but by something deeper. A presence behind the wood. "We should leave," I told him. He laughed. "Don't be a baby. If Nora see you like this, my friend. Ha, she will not even come close to you. She is very adventurous. You act like this?" Opened the door. Inside was a room unlike the others. Clean. The wallpaper peeled only slightly. A chandelier hung from the ceiling, still intact. There was a bed, well made, sheets tucked in. A clock on the wall ticked softly. That tick-tick seemed louder than it should have been, and then, I swear, I blinked. When I turned to Borko, he was gone. I called his name, shouted it. My voice echoed, bouncing unnaturally around the hallway. I ran back through the corridor, checked every room. Nothing, no sign of him. 10 minutes, 15 maybe. I found my way back to that door, now slightly ajar. He was inside, collapsed on the bed. A thick stubble covered his jaw. I fell into deep thought. This guy didn't have a beard 20 minutes ago, so where did this thick beard suddenly come from? His eyes were sunken, lips cracked. He looked like he hadn't slept in days. He stared at me like I was a ghost. "It's been 3 days," he whispered. "No," I said, heart pounding. "It's been minutes. Borko, it's been 15 minutes, 20 at most." He screamed then, clawed at his own face. "There's something in here. It drinks the seconds. It swallows hours. I saw it. I saw it crawling out of the wall. Long limbs, no face, just hunger." I grabbed him, dragged him out. The second we crossed the threshold, the room changed. The bed collapsed. The chandelier shattered, dust exploding around us. And the pristine door? It began rotting right before my eyes, mildew spreading like a rash, wood splitting, hinges corroding. We ran, all the way down the stairs, out the building, through the forest. Borko didn't speak again until we were nearly back in Sushitsa. His face was pale, mouth trembling. I dropped him off at his house. It took me a few days to recover from the shock myself. When I went to his house next time, he looked right into my eyes and said, "They don't know. My parents, the doctors, they say I had a psychotic break, but I remember every minute. It showed me what it does, how it eats, it wears people like clothes, it waits for someone to enter, and then time, it turns it into meat." 2 weeks later, he was committed. Psychiatric unit in Sofia. His parents don't talk to me anymore. They think I introduced him to drugs or some cult. I visited him once. He didn't speak, just stared at the wall and scratched the same words into his arms with his fingernails. "It's still hungry.